Hi, beautiful friends. Laurel here. And I just love how I had to take a deep breath there. For those of you who've done sessions and classes with me, you'll know that often when the angels come in, they will invite us to take a big, deep breath in just to sort of bring in that beautiful energy. And I'm just laughing at myself because I involuntarily did that when I started just now talking to you. I was like, okay. So perhaps before we even get started, I invite you to take in a beautiful, big, deep breath in and let the angels love you in this moment. So if nothing else comes out of this video, let yourself be loved by your angels in this breath and in the next. Sometimes that's all we can muster the energy up for, right? So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this place that we're navigating and also about the program I just announced that's part of my Tuesday Sacred Circle of 4 weeks of imagination to creation. I want to sort of share with you where that came from and how I'm planning on using this invitation because I love to participate in these classes with you. So in the last video that I shared with you a month ago, we were talking about emerging from our caves. Yes, that we're starting to emerge back into life, back into the world. And for each one of us, that is going to mean something unique, right? We're not all living the same game plan. And what I'm finding is I have this desire to participate in the world in the form of meeting with friends and inviting in serendipitous experiences. Like there's this craving that I'm having for the magic of life. But I'm also recognizing that when I go out into the world, it feels like everything has sharp edges. I just was out today just running some errands, nothing interesting. I went to Costco and the grocery store and I got gas and I went out earlier in the morning, which is typically when I like to do my shopping because there aren't as many people out. But I will tell you, it felt like everyone was in a hurry. Everyone was sort of bumping into each other. And I don't know that that was really happening, but it just felt like the world was a bit edgy. That's what I mean, sort of the sharp edges in the world. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to finish my last errand and come home and get underneath one of the many blankets I have been crocheting throughout the pandemic. It's like there's this desire to participate in the world and the things that bring me delight. But then also, I really still have this need to cocoon. I also am finding that I have just really low energy physically. I wish I had more vitality and energy to kind of go out in the world and do things. But I said to my husband, I think I've been tired for 10 years. Like, I just think I've been tired for a really long time, only I'm just more present to it. So where does from imagination to creation come into all of this? Because right now it just sounds like, I'm moaning and groaning a lot, which I don't mean it to sound like that. I'm just more trying to reflect kind of this energy we're in. So I think it's awesome when like a big dream comes for us. We've all had those experiences. Yes, like this big dream comes in and it's filled with beauty and vitality and we're excited about it. And it brings us energy. It teaches us something about ourselves. And that is a gorgeous way to create. Also, what's lovely is when some of, I'll call it maybe more low hanging fruit comes in. Yes, when some of the easier dreams come in. Maybe it's as simple as like clearing out everything that's expired in the medicine cabinet kind of thing, right? It's like maybe sometimes those things where we just kind of clear out one drawer and we just do one creative project also can bring us this energy. So what I'm always so fascinated by is this process when something comes to us through the imagination and through our intention. Um, and then it feeds us and it fuels us, but it also will come to us in its exalted form. Yes? When the dream of whatever your big dream is, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to travel around the world, I'm going to like whatever that is, right? It comes to us in its beautiful, perfect form because it doesn't exist yet. So we're the conductor. we get to write the whole score, and the music performs the way we want it to, and the dream in our mind and in our imagination is beautiful and big, and it meets us where we want to be, and it wraps us in its embrace, and we run off into the sunset together. And most of the time, that's not what happens, right? The dream, it comes into the imagination, and then we start taking our first steps forward, and we start working with it, and it starts working with us, and it gets messy, and our stuff gets triggered. And Abraham Hicks has this beautiful way of speaking about that expanse of time between when it comes into the imagination or the intention center and its birth. They call it being in the gap of creation. Like, how do we handle it when we allow our dreams to drop in and then we begin co-creating with them on their road to manifestation? And I'm fascinated by that part of the journey, because I will be honest, that part of the journey I'm not great at. I don't know if you've been able to figure this out about me by now, but I like things that are easy, joyful, fun, not a big fan of hard work, not a big fan of, no pain, no gain kind of attitude. I want the frosting of life. I want easy breezy. I want to feel great about it. I want to feel joy. I want to feel gospel music playing in the background, when I'm co-creating with the angels. So how to reconcile the messiness versus that craving of the magic. So in some ways, this is what we're going to be navigating in, from imagination to creation. We're going to carve out space for you to take inspired action steps, small action steps imbued with big intention, produce even bigger results, to get some movement going on an aspect of your life that is calling to you. Now, you may desire to go for the big thing. It's totally up to you. Or you may desire to go for something easy peasy and small. It's up to you. See, it almost doesn't matter. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether we clear energy by clearing out the medicine cabinet, or we clear energy by rearranging the entire garage. It's all positive movement. It's all positive momentum. And positive movement typically begets more positive movement. It's like, if you think about it in the universal form, it's like joy, whether we're joyful because, we just watched puppies play, or we're joyful because our kid got into their top college. The joy itself is an elixir that ignites us. And this is how the co-creative process goes. The angels love to say, you do a little, we'll do a lot. So we're going to be looking to create an environment where you don't have to do the heavy lifting, where you show up for these little increments of delightful action, these little increments of, I'm going to take a chance, I'm going to take a leap of faith, I'm going to try something new, I'm going to call on the angels, I'm going to call on miracles and love and joy, and see what happens. Like, this is going to be a fun 4 weeks. We're going to just kind of go into it. We're going to let it be messy. We're going to let it be spontaneous. We're going to let our wild child out. Let's see what we can create. And I will tell you what I've been contemplating using this 4 weeks for. I'm not going to share with you the exact thing that it is. I will say there is something that I have been seeking to bring to a place of loving completion for about the past 6 years. This has weighed on me. I have all kinds of judgy stuff happening within me because it hasn't been completed yet, and I keep saying I'm going to complete it, and then I don't. And so, when you have something like that at USM, at the University of Santa Monica, they call these incomplete cycles of action, and they begin to be these energy sucks. So this specific thing just really beats me up. I mean, I beat myself up over it. And I love myself, but we all have those things, right? Whether it's, all the junk in the back of your car, or what's under the bed, like whatever that is, we all have those things, right? Where we think, I should have done this already. That's my thing. And so, as the angels have been inviting us into from imagination to creation, I thought, how can I use the energy of these 4 weeks to move forward on this thing? And here's what's coming forward for me that the angels are bringing in. What would it be like if I showed up for this project in a way that felt easy breezy, light and airy? What if I let it be easy? I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but if I'm going to be doing a project and it could be simple and straightforward, it's like I will all of a sudden think of 8 ways to make it better, and all of a sudden now it's way too complicated. So what would it be like if I kept my promise to myself to keep this uncomplicated? Like every time I want to add in another layer of frosting, be like, no, girl, it's gonna be easy. And call in the angels. And what if I just devote like 4 hours a week to this over the next 4 weeks? So maybe in 16 hours, and maybe I go 5 hours, maybe in 16 to 20 hours, I conceivably could get this thing done. And in this class and the angels, this beautiful sacred container will be holding space for us. So that means it will be holding space for me, and it will be holding space for you, where maybe we could get like the boulder rolling down the hill a little bit and get a little bit of traction on something that feels meaningful to you. So I don't want this to turn into some kind of class you sign up for because all of a sudden I'm going to write my book in 4 weeks. I don't want you to set yourself up for an unrealistic ask, but rather if you were going to get a little bit of momentum on something that was meaningful for you, if you had permission to really connect with the dreams of your heart, to let the inspiration come to you, how could we hold for you over the next 4 weeks? And how can we help you be in your process around it? Because I promise you, it's going to get messy and something isn't going to work and your stuff is going to come up because we all have stuff. I don't know anybody who has ascended beyond stuff who's still in 3D reality, right? Our stuff is going to come up and the unexpected is going to happen. And, that's life. That's the cycle of creation. But also, what happens is when we step into the cycle of creation, movement happens. Somehow, movement finds us. Oh, that I could just create by sitting on my couch. I would have a castle in Europe by now. But it requires our participation. Life requires our participation. And so, this is a way to ease us out of the cocoon or the cave that we've been in into the sandbox of co-creation. Let's make it playful. Let's make it easy. Let's see what we can grow together in our beautiful garden of life. So this is what we're going to be doing from imagination to creation. I may have said intention before. I hadn't quite decided if this class was going to be called from intention to creation or from imagination to creation. So you may hear me call it both things. I finally decided on from imagination to creation. I just didn't want you to think that you were confused, thinking you heard it 2 different ways, because it's me. It's always me. So I'm sending you a lot of love. I hope my rambles today have somehow filled your cup. I love you. I'm so grateful we get to co-create together. I hope you'll join me for this group. We're going to start on April 27th. It's a Tuesday. This beautiful group comes together for these Tuesday Sacred Circles. I promise we have room for you. We will welcome you in and welcome you home. And let's see what we can conjure up together. Yes? I am ready for some magic. I don't know about you, but let's see what we can create. I love you. We'll talk soon. Bye.